Welcome to the Professionalist Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Tony Jacobs. This podcast is not just about making money. It's about creating a legacy that stands the test of time. From analyzing market trends to mastering negotiation skills, we will leave no stone unturned as we guide you through different stages of real estate investing. We will bring on industry leaders and share stories from the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So now, it's time to level up your real estate game. And there's no better way to do it than right here with us at the Professionalist Real Estate Investing Podcast.
Welcome to the Professionalist Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm with the gentleman, the one and only Rocky. How you doing today, Rocky?
Hey, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Long time. We're in the new year, 2025. I've already got some episodes ready to come out with some heavy hitters. I got a gentleman coming out from Utah, another gentleman from Manhattan, New York.
Yeah,
the Big Apple, yeah. And I have another one coming out. I got a few more episodes that I have planned out for next week, so I'm definitely going to be putting it on the YouTube channel, the podcast stations, all over from Apple to Spotify. So yes, this is the first episode for this year, 2025. And me and Rocky are going to talk about the top easiest ways to get into real estate investing. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of people who want to get into real estate investing and they don't know how to go about getting into real estate investing. First off, I would say is to get your mind right, because the mindset is going to be a huge influence of how you're going to go about doing this, because this is not a short game. This is a long game when it comes to real estate investing. And then your reason why in getting into it. I know a lot of people get into it because they're tired of their 9-to-5 job, or they want to build up more capital so they're more secure in the future to come, so they don't have to worry about their 401k or 403k.
Yeah, relying on these traditional ways of retirement money and savings like that.
Exactly. And I've always said that the reason why I got into real estate investing, the two concepts is God's not making any more land and God's not making any more dirt. So I've always, those two sayings right there has always got me into always talk about and saying about real estate investing. So number one is, no particular order, we're just going to do 10, is a house hacking. So it's that buy multifamily property when it comes to maybe a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, live in one unit and rent the others to cover your mortgage. That concept is pretty legit when you think about it right there.
Man, if I would have had my mind in real estate when I was younger, it's so much easier when you're younger. No girlfriend, no kids, no big responsibilities. Oh, maybe I have a girlfriend, who knows? But like, I had so many guy friends. I could have easily got a home that didn't have to be nothing crazy or big, and rented that sucker out to my buddies.
Right.
Just lived there. I'm like, damn, could have done that. Could have had that sucker paid off, or dang near paid off, had equity in it, and just started making moves that way. But man, just not thinking that way kind of set me back. But you can still do it. You can still do it now. I know people that bought homes now, like literally 2024, 2025, or 2024, 2023, and they're renting a room out, to help cover the high interest rate, the big mortgage payment, whatever like that. They're still doing it now. They got family and kids, so people are still doing it. I wish I would have done it.
Right.
In the beginning.
But it always will be there. And like I said, it's so easy. What's needed? Low down payment. The options is the FHA loan or VA loan, and you can live in the property while building equity.
Yeah.
So that's like a 2-for-1 right there. And I'm building equity too in the property that I own. Yeah. And then having friends or family live there.
Yeah.
And hopefully they behind be paying the rent on time too.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I thought about, I was like, okay, I would rent to friends and family for sure. I didn't want to rent to just anybody, right? I didn't want to put an ad on Craigslist and just whoever shows up. And I there was so, like, in my mind, when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. But say if you had like a furnished full like basement with the bathroom and stuff like that, and even kitchenette, like you never have to see them. And I was like, oh, that's a great option. But if you have someone that just rent a room, You know, you gotta see them in the bathroom. You gotta see them in the kitchen. They're gonna be wanting to hang out in the living room. So like, you gotta, always gotta worry about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number two, buy a rental property. Purchase a single family home or small multifamily property and rent it out for passive income. Why is it so easy? Well, it says long-term appreciation, stable rental income, financial options like conventional or FHA loans. And with any of these, especially the house hacking and buy a rental property, this actually, if you're starting this, you're starting your own portfolio when it comes to real estate investing.
Yeah.
Because they always say the first one's always the hardest, and then after that, then everything starts rolling.
I even say when you buy your first home, they say, oh, you buy a rental property, you're an investor. Your first home is technically your first rental.
Yes.
Right? Or your first, not rental, but investment property.
Investment.
Because if you keep living there and you're paying on it, you can build equity. You can, sell it with profit. It's an investment property for sure. I know a lot of people like, oh, if the AC goes out, you gotta pay for it for sure. But hopefully, if your plan, the goal is when you buy your house, hey, I'm gonna rent the sucker out one day or sell it one day.
Mm-hmm.
If you rent it out, buy it in 5 years, rent it out, and you had all these major things like a new roof, AC, and stuff like that, just know when you rent it out, it's gonna have no issues with that kind of stuff. Even if you buy a rental property.
Yeah.
Right. If you buy a rental property, you're still gonna have to deal with all that stuff regardless. So I feel like your first property that you buy, regardless if it's gonna be a rental property, your main one, that's still going to be an investment. You know what I mean?
And I was thinking too, when you said about the equity, a lot of it they'll build up the equity so much that they'll get another property off the equity.
That's what my plan is right now. My plan, right, was to save money, my own hard-earned, earned cash money. But now it's getting to the point where like life happens. The money I built up gets knocked down because of this and that or whatever. But now I have equity in my home enough to where I know, like, you know what, you can't really make these big moves or moves like these without money, right? Yeah. And I think we're gonna talk about this, but like, man, you gotta get money somewhere.
Yeah, you
gotta get it from somewhere. You have to get a plan together, because if someone just offered you like, hey, it's $100,000, you got a year to with it. What are you gonna do? And like, oh man, people will probably pay their bills off, pay the debt off, go on vacation or whatever. But me, man, give me $100,000. Oh, I'll have a rental property. I'll pay them back.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that water into wine real fast.
yeah. I get a fourplex and I'm paying back. Like, you take monthly installments back, because I can make that happen.
Oh goodness. All right, number 3, real estate investment trusts, which is better known as REITs, REITs. Those are, you invest in publicly traded real estate companies that own income producing properties. And then why is it so easy? No need to manage properties, and you can start with a small amount of money, like buying stocks, because that's what they are. Like, I have noticed that with the REITs, because I've actually studied REITs a lot. It actually is that they're properties that they're publicly traded on the stock market, and then like they do appreciate in value.
Yeah.
Because why? Because people are living in it.
Yeah. So it's like a syndication now. Like, you're just getting a piece of it.
Yeah, you're getting a piece of the pie.
If the property goes up, you will sell out your stocks or your share of it.
Yeah, and some of them don't even have portfolios of what their projection is for how many years.
Yeah.
And then how much capital that they should at the end of the time gain. So it's actually it's actually a fairly interesting how it's done. There's certain platforms that I know, it's Roots, Fundrise. Those are 2 big places where they do the REITs on. But there's other companies out there too. You actually can, if you have if you have Fidelity or Morgan Stanley, you actually can, you can Google what REITs, which ones are like the top 10, top 20. You can Google and see where it's at, and then you actually can get a whole portfolio of how they've gone about doing past 5 to 10 years and see if it's worthy enough to put your money into REITs.
Yeah, it's I think I did that. I think I did that as far as like stocks and into REITs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with any kind of stock you're buying, you're always just gonna watch it.
Oh yes.
The risk went up and down. Like the house market crashed, everything went down. You should have bought because it back up again tenfold, right? I think the house was up like 40%, 60%. Or selling for probably 30, 40% of their not asking price, but the home value in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a way. I thought I did it too. But like I did the stock way with I think I went to Fidelity. Yeah, I went to the Fidelity stock, and I didn't see too much increase. Again, it's just like the stocks. If it went up, cool. If it went down, that's basically how it went. That's how my experience was with it. Because I didn't go actually into like the study about like everything what's going on with the company and everything. It's more like, oh, these numbers looking good, the data looks good, so that's my fault. But yeah, I did that.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Attention realtors. First impressions are so important for real estate sales. Having a clean logo with easy-to-read information can impress a buyer and potentially get you that sale. Here at Boundary Waters, we excel at first impressions. If you need a logo or lawn signs, give us a call. Our experience at signs and banners have been proven for over a decade. Give us a call at 530-221-2151. Again, that's 530-221-2151. Boundary Waters Screen Printing, home of the Surf Ninja. www.boundarywatersinc.com.
Number 4, this is our guy Marcus' thing right here, wholesaling.
Yeah.
It's just find off-market deals, get them under contract, assign the contract to an investor for a fee. And why is it so easy? Requires little to no front capital and can generate quick profits without owning property. So you're just going out there searching for property that looks bombed and depleted. Sometimes like even the dirt, like I have right now, I'm dealing with a property with a gentleman where he has a house. It's funny. This is a quick story. He has a house, but the house has no foundation. And it has no permanent concrete slab.
Okay.
So it's definitely a house, but it has no foundation.
So is it on bricks right now or something?
I never went inside of it because I literally, if we sneezed, the structure probably would fall down.
Hey, yeah, big bad wolf would knock that sucker down. Huh?
Yeah, and I mean, asbestos like crazy on it too. So,
no.
Yeah, like the shingles and everything. Yeah, it's like it's really hazardous to your health. So, the dirt where the property's at is way more expensive than that, the structured house.
Yeah.
So it sometimes be like that. Sometimes I tell people, especially when it comes to either wholesaling, no matter what you do in real estate, it's all about location.
Location, man. I was just gonna say, man, there's locations right now in our little area with that burnt down a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And there's still some for, let's say, a nice little 1 acre property is selling for, I don't know what, 50, 60K or something like that. These properties over here are still just the dirt itself. It still has your plumbing and stuff hooked up to it and everything. But man, they're selling for 100, 150, 175K still. I'm like, oh, there's no house on here. Right. There's nothing on this.
There's nothing.
And it's still over 100K plus. I was like, oh, I want to buy one. Just slap a mobile home on there or something.
Right.
Or remanufactured home and just be like, all right, rent it out.
And then
the views are spectacular.
And with the crazy part, like you said, the crazy part is you're paying for the dirt. You didn't even pay for the structure.
Yeah, just dirt.
Yeah, the dirt, the location where it's at. All right, number 5, Airbnb or short-term rentals.
Yeah.
It says rent out a spare room, basement, a vacation property on platforms like Airbnb or I can't never say that, Vrbo. And then Vrbo, VRBO. I'll probably chop and screw that word up real quick. And then why is it easy? low barrier to entry, potential for high returns. You don't need to own property or rental. Um, you don't need to own it. But I was actually thinking with this Airbnb and short rentals, what should be included on this too is um, it's slipped my mind what it was. Uh, it's the quarters.
The quarters.
The quarters where the mom and pop quarters. Um, uh,
Well, like
ADUs.
Oh yeah.
ADUs.
House in the back.
Yeah, ADUs. The dwelling.
Yeah.
So those also, and that's actually huge now. So what a lot of people are doing is they're building mom and pop's quarter or another room behind homes and everything, and they're getting income off of that. What you definitely have to watch. I remember listening to a gentleman about that is especially here in California, they're doing that, and you have to find out what your state and what your county and what your state says about this. Is that when you do an ADU, that comes to another property.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you're going to have to pay property tax on that ADU with your house, even though it's close together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the crazy part about it, because I was like, what? Like, all right, the ADUs is going to maybe help out a little bit with the housing shortage, because the housing shortage here in the United States is anywhere between 7 to 9 million. But with these ADUs, and a lot of them a lot of places are accepting ADUs, make sure that hopefully they're part of one property and not separate, because if they're not separate, you're gonna have to pay taxes on that ADU with your house.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Okay. The next one, number 6, real estate crowdfunding. Invest smaller amounts in real estate projects through crowdfunding platforms like Fundrise and Realty Mogul. I know Fundrise actually they do help out with RITs also. And so why is it easy? No need for hands-on management, and it allows fractional ownership of high-value properties.
Crowdfunding? I never heard that.
Yeah, real estate crowdfunding. Yeah.
So it's like a syndication.
It's
like you're putting your money into a pool, and
it's small amounts, because usually with the syndication can be any amount, but like typical syndication deals, it's like usually with multifamily.
Yeah.
We get into I've seen some low as 20, 25,000, but usually it's like 50 to 100,000 for syndication.
Yeah, I think syndication is definitely just a more bigger, I don't want to say professional way, but more
you're right,
like expert way of doing it. Like,
you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when you get into that, you're dealing with, I mean, they're all experts in their field, like whatever, crowdfunding, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like syndication is just getting into just that higher level, you know, because you can do write-offs and stuff like that. You can claim depreciation. You're part of the project. I don't know if this does it either, but
this,
you know what I mean? Just like all the meeting and stuff, the investor meeting stuff we went to.
Yeah,
I was like, man, this feels professional. This is like, it's just pushing a whole other level. I feel like than just like, the average person I'm about to run a property.
Yeah, it is.
You want to do it with me? You want to get in with me? And kind of, maybe get a couple of investors, your friends together and do it. Versus like, hey, we're going across country. We got people that have been doing this for years and doing millions, of real estate properties. Yeah, I don't know.
And then the syndication, like you're right, it is professional, because you have a person that structures basically everything, and then they look out for the investors, and then they get a report. They find out how long they're going to own the property. Is it between 3 to 5 years? What the forecast is looking like at how much capital is, how much the investors are going to get returned back to them, because we're all in the money making business.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got the BRRRR strategy: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. That's been, I gotta think who used to talk about that a lot is Bigger Pockets. So it's like
Yeah.
buy distressed properties, fix them up, rent them out, refinance to pull out the capital.
This is this is the I feel like this is probably the one of the most common strategies for just a regular person, right?
Yes.
They save up money, maybe get a loan, buy a rental property, fix it up themselves because it's a lot cheaper than hiring help. You know, they learn on the go, like, hey, I did my own floors. I can do this house just need flooring and paint. I can do that. You know, it's probably the first place a lot of people start. Like I even thought about doing this too, and then you know, it's a lot more work. It's a lot more risks because if you're doing it yourself. But if you have a team that know some people that can do touch ups on your house and stuff, or you run a property and then get on the market ASAP.
Yeah.
That might be the best way to go. But yeah, that's definitely the go-to one for just the average Joe. It's just like save money, get a rental property, fix it up, rent it out,
Exactly. Yeah.
repeat. You know.
Why is it so easy? Builds long-term wealth with minimum out-of-pocket investment after refinancing. So that's the BRRRR strategy. Seller financing. I think me and Rocky, me and Marcus, we talked about this with that. Like I think it's Pace Mobley.
Mhm.
Pace Mobley. I know it's Pace. Pace
Uh-huh.
with the peace sign.
Uh-huh.
So he's actually excellent with the seller financing because it's now starting to be a part of a lot of people how they're going about doing things. And he actually, I want to say he's the king of seller financing because you can seller finance anything. It says just not real estate. It can be possessions, cars, motorcycles, boats. You can seller finance anything. So what seller financing is, you buy directly from sellers who offer refinancing or financing terms instead of a bank loan. So you don't have to deal with the bank.
Yeah.
Why is it easy? Avoids traditional mortgage requirements, making it accessible with limited capital or credit history. Yeah, if anybody wants to know about, Google Pace or watch YouTubes on Pace, and Pace is a genius when it comes to it. I watched him do the seller financing. He even said that, yeah, he's actually done cars instead of homes. He's done cars. You can do anything of the seller financing because you're contacted with the person that owns that property.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with anything with the bank.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
You know, negotiate all your stuff without little. The only thing I think about that really hits me when you said that, I was like, man, you can imagine all the little BS fees that you don't have to worry about. All these little fees and when the bank, oh, we gotta do this and that. Oh, we got a little fee here and we got processing fee. That saves thousands of dollars right there in their fees.
Yes.
I gotta look into that too because man, that's probably, you just gotta find someone that's willing to do that. I guess that trust too. You know, they gotta get their own lawyers and get contracts in, and how are they gonna structure it? You know, say if you want to sell the house, you want to refinance the house, you want to take money out of the house. How does that work if it's not a bank? I guess.
Newsflash, just want to let you know because our next episode, we're going to do a step-by-step how to go about this seller financing, just to let you know.
There it is.
I already have it right here, hot off the press, right here in front of me. So I just wanted to do this one right now, the 10 ways. But yeah, I have it pretty structured down how to go about it. I'm not a genius about going about it, but I do know a couple things, and not as good as Pace, but Pace is the man. I'm gonna tell you, like I said, Google or watch his YouTube videos on seller financing. He'll open your world up to a lot of things. And the thing is, it's nothing new. It's just something that not many people dealt with doing.
And I feel like when you go through the banks, everything's so just cut and dry. Like, okay, they're gonna do this. And seller financing, I feel like it's gonna be a lot more like, okay, you have to understand what's going on. Like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This, like, there's more. Because I remember when I did my loan through the bank, the mortgage company, I was like, I didn't know, like, what is this? Why am I paying 2 APRs? What is this? He's like, oh, this is what you're gonna pay yearly, but this is what our rate is for this year. I'm like, what is that? So you gotta know a little more. I feel like when you do that, or you're gonna know a lot more when you do a seller finance, because you don't want to just get in something and some message over. Because I feel like when you go through a merged company, you kind of have the security of like, if this big company messes with me, I can sue them or something like that.
Yes.
Versus like seller finance, how big is this person? Have they done it before? What are the legal's implications of maybe not going well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be our next episode, because it's actually interesting how it goes about doing. I'm always studying something. So, but I studied about this and everything, but it's going to be a step-by-step guide how to go about to do it and everything.
Nice.
All right. And then number 9, I'll skip number 9. I'll make that number 10. Number 10, live and flip. It says buy a fixer-upper, live in it while renovating, and sell it for a profit. Tax-free if you live there for 2 years. And why is it easy? Lower risk than traditional flipping, and you can use your owner-occupied loan benefits.
Yep, that's what people do.
Yeah, that's a great strategy. That's another strategy.
I don't know if they're gonna do it now. Now you got a 3%, 2% interest rate. You wanna sell that? I'm like, you know what? I know some people that sell their own homes now that they got with really good interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, just keep that sucker. You're gonna have that sucker paid off, and you're never gonna get that interest rate ever back again. But the price that they sold their house for was so worth it. They put their house on the market, and it went. I don't know. Let's say they sold it. They bought the house for $380, $390, and they sold it for $475, $465.
Oh, they got a nice amount.
They got a huge chunk, and the only thing they did was make the driveway nicer for like RV and stuff. There's little tidbits they did, I feel like, to make the house really nice, and then the location was amazing. And they put on the market the next day. They sold it for that, I think, around that price.
That's great.
Dang, that's so crazy. But then in my head, I'm like, that could have been a good inner property.
Right.
But it's your exit strategy. They lived there for 3-4 years, so that was their strategy, was to get up. And I was like, you're never gonna find the house again in that price. You're looking at what you just sold your house for.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be $500K.
Yeah.
For what you got for 4 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, pool, RV parking, awesome little neighborhood cul-de-sac. They got their money back and some, but oh man.
Yeah, that's really good.
I don't know. I would have rented it out. I would have not turned that. I would have not sold it.
And then number 10, I was going to make number 10 is partnering with experienced investors. Join forces with an experienced real estate investor providing capital and labor or expertise in exchange for a share of the profits. Why is it easy? You gain hands-on experience with leveraging the knowledge and network of a seasoned investor. Yeah, because I remember I actually wrote this down on an index card. They said even like a person who's new and they want to learn, see if you talk to individuals, see if you can get like a 1 or 2% in interest into an investment. That right there, that even starts your portfolio.
Yeah.
That even starts your portfolio. They said, so like you can counteract that, because I was watching. I that was something really vital to me, and I wrote anything I hear and I think that can be vital for me in the long run. I write down because we so much distractions nowadays. You forget. You like, I remember something, but you forgot it, so I always write it down. But yeah, I read that. So you can ask the individual like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know a little bit of knowledge. Can you help me with the expertise? I want to get my feet wet. Can I get into this to like 1 or 2% interest? Because I want to start my portfolio. Mm-hmm. So you can go about doing that.
Man, when I think about partnering with experienced investors, I think about everything. I think about syndications. I think about even investing with your friends or family that are doing it, and every and then there's so many different boot camps and programs where they teach teach you how to invest and all that stuff. But like every time I look into these programs or these boot camps to like learn how to invest and stuff like that, there's always I feel like there's always a catch.
Yes.
And the catch is
Yes.
they want whoever you're going with wants money too. And that it always feels like if you're really here to help me, why does it feel like you're kind of taking advantage of me? I'm giving so much money. But I started thinking about it, man, and I think we talked about this, like actually going into one of these week 2 week courses or boot camps they call it to learn how to invest and how to get into properties and get into syndications and all this other stuff. And I remember we went to one seminar. It was like, you want to get in with this today only.
Yes.
$2,500. You sign up today, and you can get this, and this. And at the end of it, if you don't like it, get your money back. And I almost felt like a little pyramid scheme and stuff like that. But then I started thinking about the people that have the knowledge and time to teach you. Their time is always valuable.
Yes, it is.
And if I was a multi-billionaire and millionaire and I got everything I ever wanted, did everything I ever needed, at the end of the day, you're not truly happy until you start giving away that money. You start giving back because you have all this money, and then you just. I think Pitbull, the rapper, I heard him say it's like when you truly happy is when you start giving away your money, giving away wealth and stuff like that. Oh, that makes sense, But
it's like the Bible proverb: "It's more happiness in giving than it is in receiving."
Yeah, man. And so I was like thinking about this, like these investors and stuff, they all have a piece of the chunk. Well, if they help you, they want a little bit in return, and it's almost like they need their time to be worth it to help. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And at the same time, it's like if you're gonna be willing to invest so much money into the program or into these boot camps, then for the investors to be like, okay, they're serious because they're gonna invest, right? So I was like, okay, it's like a catch-22. Like, you do one thing, he does one thing. You guys both are like on the same page because what no one ever wants is to get screwed over by the experienced investor, right? Because you feel like you can take advantage of because you got a lot of times you can put your own money up. At the same time, your investor doesn't want to get screwed over by someone else that's gonna slack and not really learn or anything. So I feel like okay, but then I started really thinking about it. Okay. I love to partner with some investors, anyone that knows what they're doing, but it really just comes down to how is your relationship with that person or that company. Are they reputable? Do you have a good communication? Their track record is good because there's some people that I know or I met that want to buy rental properties and like, hey, we should go on one. I'm like, oh, I would love to go to rental property. Like, let's do it. We can put up half. And then I started looking at them and seeing what they're doing in life, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to go in with this guy. He has a really shady record.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so like no. And then other people, like if me and you're like, hey, let's do it. Like yeah, let's do it. But then like we don't got that experience yet, so it was like, so like we kind of dig on both self in the hole. So it's like, we haven't really done it yet, or we know enough to get in trouble, right? So I was like, so it's always like we have great communication and everything, and we probably be fine. But then the experience, like, okay, if this guy experienced, but I don't want to work with him. Yeah, this guy we're not too experienced, but I love to work with him. So it's like you gotta find the investor. That's what I've been thinking of because I've been like, man, if I just find that one person, that Rocky, I'm gonna show you the world. I'll show you because I gotta do it, but you gotta keep me down. Yes. So much. I'm like, hopefully you ain't screwing me over. But here it is. Let's do it. I'll take a risk. You take a risk, and hopefully it works out. Because I would love to find that one individual be like, hey, Rocky, I love what you're doing. I love your mindset. I'm going to help you out. Like, let's do it. Game over. I mean,
right.
Or game started,
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a mindset shift. Also, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
You also have to, like you said, credible people that you trust, check their track record. And the most important part, I got to say this now because this is 2025 and I'm amping up everything. You got to watch this podcast, the Professional Real Estate Investing Podcast. Why? Because I'm going to have people who have years of experience,
Yeah.
who have over $100 million they've sold in real estate, and that's their goal that they want to have when they're 50 years old, because they know what real estate does and how it can change a person's life.
And you know what I noticed too? They truly want to just spread the knowledge. Like when we
Yes.
talking to them, they're like, "Look, this is what I did. This is where I came from, and I just want to spread the knowledge, let you know what I know. You know, hopefully inspires people. Might even get people, changing their whole investment strategy and everything. I'm like, that's the kind of people we want to get with. Some people you have on your podcast, I'm like, man, that's they're at that point. Like, I'm making plenty of money. I don't need to do this, but I want to do it because I want to help. I want to get out there, tell people experience and stuff like that.
And I would say make the world a better place.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're from Manhattan. I'm over here in Cali, but hey.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have this much money and I know this much. What should I do with it?
And I always say, like, especially with the podcasts, because I listen to several of them and everything. Like, I've learned so much. Like Snoop would say, it's free game.
Hey,
It's exactly free game. It's just like, are you going to accept it? Or are you going to apply it in your life?
Yeah. That's true, man. It's free game. You gotta good, even if it's good or bad, because you can always take both and be like, hey, that's horrible. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, even the bad advice, you'll learn from that. You're like, okay, I need not go down that avenue.
Yep.
I know where this is going to lead me to, because I see the consequences.
Oh, for sure. My buddy, he's renting his property, and we always talk about this. He's like, man, we can sell this house and buy some cheaper homes, but then your people you rent to, they might not be the best tenants, right? And then we're talking about like income taxes and write-offs and stuff. He's like, well, this one guy we know, I'm pretty sure he's renting for cash and he's not claiming on his taxes. Like, oh man, I've had a huge long conversation with my buddy about this, with you about it. I was like, man, you don't want to go federal prison. I think it's 10 years, 10 years minimum, like $10,000 to $15,000 fine. Federal prison for tax evasion. Like, are you kidding me? That's not worth it, man. Hey,
No,
it's not worth it. Do everything legit. Be around the people that are doing it right.
Yes, it is indeed. So yeah, this is the top 10 ways, easy ways to get into real estate investing, not in particular order. Anything else? I mean, we get 2025 now. We got a new change of guard, Mr. Donald Trump as president. My viewpoint with him being as president, just in real estate investing, I think there's certain things that are gonna change. I think they're gonna change because everything was the depreciation. I think he's gonna probably go back to eventually 100% like it was before.
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that's what he did before, and he helps investors, and when it comes to real estate investing, the structure and everything. So I think that there's going to be a lot of good things happening in real estate investing. I view that the interest rate, it's going to go down maybe a little, but it's not going to go down like it was in COVID.
Yeah.
COVID, it's not going to be no 2%. Or like one person I've said before, I've seen the gentleman, he got a 1.99%. Those days, that was during a pandemic. That was a worldwide pandemic that changed the whole structure of everything about life.
Yeah.
So that won't happen in our lifetime, maybe in the next lifetime with our great grandkids, but not in our lifetime. And I think that, I think this is the year, if anybody wants to, especially with, I believe him in the office, I think it's going to be the best time for people to invest and get into it. Every time, I'll say this, there's no bad time to invest.
Yeah.
Because the only thing basically is the numbers. Is the numbers right for you to invest? All right, is your return going to look good? It's all about running the numbers. I know I've said a lot of Grant Cardone, and he's always about that. Is the numbers right?
Yeah. Your return is going to be good. How much money you have saved up? Can you afford it? Is it worth it? What's your exit strategy?
Yes.
Because your exit strategy means you're going to be out by a couple of years. You're like, I can do it for a couple of years or whatever the long-term game is.
And then getting real estate investing too, like what's your why? Why do you want to get into it? Like you have to ask yourself some heartfelt questions only you can ask and answer.
That's true.
And then you'll come to realization, okay, this is the reason why. All right, how do I go about doing it? A lot of people start off inquiring, like me and you. Well, we've read books, we've listened to podcasts, we've been to seminars. It's your mind shift. Your mindset has to change for the best.
For sure. Why? Yeah. Why you want to get? Why you want to get into investing in anything?
Exactly.
Stock markets. Why you to ask people why do you invest in your 401k? Like why are you doing that? Like why just take money out, right?
Exactly.
You don't have to. You don't invest. You have to invest in that. You just keep the money all day, every day, and just spend it, save in your own bank account, whatever. But it's like, oh, for a rainy day, or for me, it was like I have a family now, and like when I pass away, or if they want to go, college or need help in the future, what kind of savings I'm gonna have, retirement for my future, for me and my spouse, my kids, what can I leave behind? All those little things start popping in when I have kids, but just financially, people just don't have to invest at all. But it's like, yeah, why are you gonna invest? Because that's just that honestly, why you invest is that your biggest motivation.
Yes.
If you have no motivation to do nothing, why even get out of bed? Like just people say, I don't make my bed because I'm just get back into it. I'm like, oh, then you invest, then same thing. Like
yeah,
it's like why even do it then if you're not even worried about it? So I get it, but the why is definitely, man.
Yeah, the why, and it comes down to that because a lot of people are, especially in this era, with like I said, with COVID and everybody, especially with COVID. So I always say a lot about COVID because it actually changed my life a lot. At the time, like nothing was going on. The world had stopped. There was nothing going on. I mean, the world stopped so much that it was healing itself. Animals that were coming from out in the mountains in the countryside were coming into the city limits. Why? Because they didn't hear the factories. They didn't hear any noises. Everything was shut down. So the earth was healing. We didn't know how to react as humans because we've never ever been shut down, everything down. And then what happened? Everybody had internet. You had to have internet because there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people started studying about real estate. And then this is 2025. There's so many remote jobs. And then a lot of people are like, well, why should I go back to work? And then there's people who are like, you know what? I shouldn't go back to work because I'm going to invest my time in real estate investing.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna make my money work for me. I'm tired of working for the man all the time. You know what I mean? Like that's and then
that's motivation.
Exactly. And like you have and then like work 40 hours a week. You're just you have everybody has a social security number. Well, just surprise. That's all you are at your job. And you can tell how many people are getting laid off and fired nowadays. Like you're just a number. So you have to think for yourself now. It's not being selfish. You got to think for you. I tell everybody, it's like, what is the healthiest move for you to make?
Yeah.
And then that's how you'll know, like, all right, is this a healthy move or not? Am I gonna benefit out of making this move?
Yeah.
And we know, me and you, like, we know the escape out of everything when it comes to financial literacy and financial gain and everything is real estate investing, because I mean there's other ways, but the most bona fide way is real estate investing.
Yeah. Multi-billionaires are doing it. Anyone that has any kind of large amount of money or income, they have investments in something. If it's stocks, real estate, or something. In every single portfolio, I guarantee they have real estate. So these super rich people are doing it. They know something, and the more you know, the more you research and look into it. It's like, oh, I see why they're doing it, and it's crazy because the average person can do it too. Maybe at a smaller scale, but you're doing it at your level. There's always levels to this game, but if you do it, you start. As long as you start, you can definitely build some kind of wealth later on. It might not be huge too. Like it's not a quick rich scheme.
It's a long game.
But it's the long game. Sometimes people that are retiring, they have no kind of investments except just a 401k or whatever it is, and then they're
401k, Social Security,
and they're coming back to work in their 60s because like, oh man, money ran out. So it's like it's just a little backup. You don't have to go in hard. You don't have to go like, I'm gonna get 50 rental properties and do this and that. I'm gonna make money over hand over fist. Like sometimes just getting one rental property, it might change your outcome. Because if you get one rental property, say for $300K, you own it for 30 years, it's paid off. A rainy day happens, you get sick, whatever. You sell that house. You know, depending on the inflation and everything, you could have sold the house for $450.
Yeah.
And now you have $450 in your account, you know, for that. It might not be all the retirement money you're ever gonna have, but now you have something that you just invested in. And you got your money back.
And I'm glad you said even one property, because I have a picture on my phone that says one property can change your life. You can be the owner, you can be the property manager, you can get the depreciation value off the home. You
Yeah.
can be all in one just off of one property.
That's my goal. I just need that one,
Yeah.
good one, and that's it. I'll start building from there. But I just gotta stop that one.
All right, world, that's the end of this podcast episode with Mr. Rocky.
Yeah.
Like us, subscribe on the Professional Real Estate Investing podcast on YouTube. We're on Spotify and definitely on Apple. I had to think real quick. Apple also, and it's like all the media platforms of the podcast. I do know that.
Yeah, we out here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we had to bring this show to you live and direct, and man, 2025, here we are, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
And yes, just want to let everybody know, be safe, and God bless, and with peace. All right.
Peace.
In the fast-paced world of real estate, success hinges on information. Introducing PropStream, your all-in-one real estate solution. Find properties, analyze markets, and generate leads effortlessly. With PropStream, you're always one step ahead. Access it anytime, anywhere, and watch your business thrive. Don't miss out on the future of real estate. Get started with PropStream today. Visit trial.propstreampro.com/Tony Jacobs for a 7-day free trial and revolutionize your real estate game. PropStream, your key to real estate success. Don't wait. Start now.